Hi, welcome to Black Amethyst Oracle. This is Carmen, and I am diving in today. This is going to be 3 collective energy groups, 3 separate readings, looking at inspired by Empress energy, because right now, at time of recording, we are in the middle of Taurus season. I've been thinking about abundance and Empress energy, and I've been thinking about Venus. So I'd like to get into some deeper questions around that. Like, I'm going to use all these decks, which I know it's really cluttered looking right now, but it's really, I just want everything in here just soaking up all this energy, and I'm trying to bring it all in. So I'm going to use Cosmic Laws Oracle, the Untamed Elemental, and Dirt Gems, and this is Serpentfire and the Witch's Tarot. And the questions I'll be asking are about what type of abundance is within reach for you, what type of transitions or words around transition happening for you currently, healing advice or insight for you, and messages about your spiritual development, the path you're on, kind of what's going on with you, and messages about your personal power and manifestations. So that's why I've got the 2 tarot decks. I've got 2 kind of sets of questions for that. And what I'll do is, I believe I'm just going to speed up through the shuffling and pulling of these cards, and then we'll get together and look at it all to, in a cohesive way. So the first group is going to be rhodonite, and this particular palm stone is rhodonite and hematite. Rhodonite being a heart and root, I believe, energy, and lapis lazuli, which is communication and intuition, which would be third eye and throat chakra. And mookaite from Australia. Mookaite actually is associated with all 7 chakras. It's extremely grounding, and it's very strength powered. All right. So there we have rhodonite, lapis lazuli, and mookaite. If one of these feels right to you. Okay, 1, 2, 3. See you there. Okay, pardon my mess, group 1, with the rhodonite and the hematite. It's gorgeous. All right. I'm just going to get into this, and I'll be meditating, asking questions, getting cards, and we will talk when everything's laid out for you. Okay, so I did some recording, and I had dogs barking, and I had brain fog, and I just felt like I needed to start again. You didn't even know that, so I'm just being honest with you. I'm feeling very tired, but it's also, I'm feeling very driven. So it's a really weird place to be, because it's like I can feel energy really well in a state like this, but I can't talk as well. So I really want to just streamline some of these messages and just kind of get it out there. From the Cosmic Laws Oracle up here, we have experience and law of resistance. I was asking about the abundance that is within reach and accessing that. These two cards are talking about letting go and being flexible together. The things that you know to be true, the way you understand things to work, these are not wrong, but evolving and potentially can be added onto, modified, and will change with you and with everything around you. And it's important because we often feel we've reached a grasping a concept or an understanding of something, and we're like, oh, that's it, I've got that, and now I can move on to something else. But this is suggesting that sometimes what we know to be true or think is the way it is also still malleable. It's still adjustable and will continue to evolve as as things around us change. And this law of resistance speaks of what attachment does to us, attachment to these ideas that things are this way. And we've learned that through experience, which is not, like I said, it's not wrong. You've been through something and you become a sort of expert on it, or so we believe. So that's the trick. The trick is letting go of, some of these ideas that we're so bound to. And you don't have to have Taurus energy, but I did mention in the intro, I think that this is the uploaded, this reading is being done in the middle of Taurus, and I was very drawn to an abundance reading and an Empress energy type of reading. And I just, this has very Taurian, Taurus is famous for being a bit unchangeable and stubborn. And as a Taurus, sometimes I'm a little offended by that. I feel very flexible in so many ways, but it is a truth that it's very easy to become set in your ways. Like, this is how I like it, this is how it makes the most sense, and this is how it works. And this is just a message that it's okay to drop down into yourself and let some of that kind of fall off and not hold as much importance, really. And then down here with the Untamed Elemental, I wanted to take a look at, sort of the movement, the transition of where you are, where you're headed, kind of thing. And we've got the bee, which is, in this particular deck especially, talking about, you don't want to be limited by your fear, and which is really does tie into this up here, like ideas of, what is unknown and being afraid of that is stunting growth and progress. So with this bee, you're reminded to keep a forward focus, to actually also to protect the boundary around your own trajectory. Do you understand? Like if this is, you're headed this way, and it's not that you can't get thrown off course or you're headed the right way, absolutely no problem. Anything's possible. But when you are headed to where you want to go, in whatever way that is, spiritually or physically in life, like it's easy to be derailed by outside energy and outside forces. So this bee card is a reminder to build healthy boundaries around what you are valuing and working for the most, because inevitably in life, you get your curveballs and you get your, interruptions, and those have their place as well. But there is a feeling of, and this may have been lost, I think, if I scrapped the last recording. There is a feeling in this entire energy that I feel that you within this group have the tools and the skills to get a lot done. A lot. You're a lot of power holding inside. And, maybe your tools have been kind of packed up, gotten dusty, and you need to, pull them out and get to work. But there is a general energy just on what I have pulled and feel coming in of anyone in this group being very much on your way, whether you realize it all the time or not, whether it feels like it all the time or not, but being very much on your way to just betterment, like better version of you, upgrade, leveling up, whatever you want to call it, elevating. And then, yeah, so with the B, don't let fear of the unknown, stop your grand plan, like it's okay to work out a very simple plan. And this would be kind of equivalent to just taking things one step at a time or one day at a time or whatever. Set small goals in front of you and reach them any which way you're going to do it. There's just a message here that you need to keep your focus on your own moving forward and protect your path in a sense. And I did talk about in the recording that got scrapped, I was saying that B often brings to me this warm amber honey-like, it's honey and it's this glowing amber light, which I associate with, divine love, actually. Some that color is solar plexus, and it does have to do with life purpose, but I mean, love is all through them. And I have right here, like, for example, these honey calcite pieces, and it's just, these are very creative pieces that work for getting your sort of what do you call that, your getting your flow like smooth. I don't, wow, this is why I had to stop that other recording, because my words are a bit lost. But yeah, like with this bee, there's a if you watch like a bee kind of go from flower to flower, they're kind of heavy, and then they get a little bit weighed down if they're collecting pollen and stuff like that, and they're not as graceful as some of the other flying insects. That's a thing, but they really are masterminds, like they really have 100% intention and plan. There's everything they're doing is for a reason, and they're sort of joyously sunny, like inspired, that's how I see the bee. Is I see a lot of sunshine, I see a lot of honey, I see honey color amber light, and I see just harnessing the joy of the process is the message for you. And then with seashell, this one is about spiritual growth as well, but it's about embracing the absolute, like, infinite, limitless part of ascension and of striving to be union, in union with spirit, and like just to be uplifted and to be brought to your light, the light. Part of that is recognizing the divine plan, and it's not even so much that everything is just orchestrated ahead of time. It's not just all about destiny and everything's written and you're just gonna live as it was planned by some, by the gods and the guides or anything like that. Like, it's not that. It's that every little intricate detail does serve a purpose. And when we look at seashells and they have form and function, they are protective, they are, calcium for ecology, and all of the waterways and the irrigation, and there's an ecological purpose for seashells, and their form and function. However, they are often beautiful, like many things in nature, but like the patterning is sometimes exquisite. They're magnificent. Sometimes seashells is just like, wow, how ornate, And I think, to me, this is just about accepting and appreciating the sort of intricate design that we are all a part of. You are here for your many purposes, I'm sure, but it is also important for you to simply enjoy the ride, like to simply, which is also up here. This is saying so up here as well. Wonder, marvel, marvel at the wonders is what I wanted to say. Like, take moments to absorb the beauty and be inspired by that. I hope that's not too off the rails. Let me get over here to this healing card that I got for you, Red Root. This is speaking about truth, and expression, and expressing your truth and not holding that back in places where you may have been. I get the feeling that the word here for you is, you know what you know. You don't need to share everything with everyone. But at the same time, there is a call here for you to notice the ways you may hold back what you really think or feel or know, based on what people around you believe to be true. So it's sort of like you're just not bothering to tell your version. It could be because you don't feel anyone would understand. It could be that you don't feel that you're that important. These are just ideas coming, but I get here that something that is important in your healing right now is to definitely just stay in your truth. I don't think that's anything foreign to you to see and know your truth, but and just remember, truth is relative in so many ways for different individuals, because we have relative experience and perspective. But when there are things that you firmly believe, you may be holding back sharing those ideas. You may be holding tightly onto those, or kind of tucking them away or hiding them even, because of, like I said, I just get the feeling it could be that you don't feel important enough, like your esteem is not quite up, or you feel that no one would understand. And I think this is something for you to work on. in finding your voice and expressing yourself. Whatever ways you express yourself now, or maybe new ways you can find. Um, there's a message here that you need to express. You need to express some of this truth that is you may feel only yours, but still there's a power in stating it. There's a power in sharing it, you know. And even if it does go in one ear and out the other of anyone you tell, so to speak, just to put it down on that level, you having spoken the words bring bring them into a different type of space in your own being. Sometimes I hash out ideas out loud, like I could take a shower and like just talk to myself, say things out loud that I'm thinking, and just flesh out ideas, because when your ideas are in your head, they exist in this intangible, abstract way. If you put them into words, words spoken, words written, or visuals like imagery, you know, art, craft, ways that we express, music, humming without words, you know, feelings, emotions, the ways that we express it's not limited to actually conveying your ideas in words verbally to others, but whatever that means to you, expression is good for you, good for your healing. It's important that you give your ideas and your truth, I want to say a stage, but you know, it's not a show, but you know, give it what is the word? Give your ideas and your truth a platform, so to speak, or just give them some props. I don't know how else to say it. It's okay to be assertive sometimes without being, you know, it doesn't mean you're being pushy. You're just as important as anyone else. Your ideas and opinions are no less important than anyone else's. No matter their level of expertise, you have experience as well. You have a grasp of you know, to some degree of what it is you're here and what you want. Okay, what it is you're here to do and what you want. So I wanted to, up here with this Serpentfire deck, look into spiritual development messages. And with judgment, this particular judgment being about reflection and evaluation and shattering illusions. And I immediately, when I pulled that, heard Gold Dust Woman by Fleetwood Mac, Shatter Your Illusions of Love. You know, not that it's a relevant song in any way. Could be, might not be, I don't know. But it conjured for me just the power, and you don't have to be a woman to for me to explain what I got from hearing Gold Dust Woman, but it's just about shattering illusions and letting the truth be bare. And it's interesting because this is about how important it is for your truth to be exist and have light and see light and air, you know. So there's definitely a message up here with judgment about, you know, just sort of on this card. Can you see I have, well, there's the Eye of Horus, but there's the brain coming out, you know. And I feel there's a great deal of, like, you're on the verge of a massive sort of turnover, if that makes sense. Like a massive sort of like awakening. And it's not that you're not awake at all. Like, I'm sure you are. But this judgment almost has a tower feel. like it's like just the light is just going to come flooding in a way, you know, and maybe it already has begun. But this is important right now for you in your path. It's just something that's happening, and it honestly, like, I don't see how it would not happen. It just seems to be going on for you, and it's inevitable. And so it's just something to be aware of, that this is a gift for you, and you're reaching one of those moments. And you know, different people will listen to this and have different things going on astrologically, but it does feel very much like it's some eclipse energy, you know. And that could be, it's not that we all just are affected differently by the bodies moving and the cosmos, but I think that for you in particular, there's a big reveal coming, or it's happening now. And then with the Lovers to show up here, I mean, you do have two majors, Judgment and the Lovers, in talking about your spiritual path. And this Lovers card is speaking about being whole in yourself in order to come into union or loving romantic union with someone who matches your energy, someone who you can have that Six of Pentacles with, the reciprocity, the give and take that is balanced and temperate, you know. Like this is, for me, like there's a calling. I feel like maybe you have a yearning happening. It could be with someone you know, or someone you haven't met yet, or someone that's out there. Like, just romantically speaking, it feels like a partnership is important to you. A partnership helps you to be in touch with your intuition and with your emotions and with your thoughts and feelings. Like, so it's okay. Like, that's totally normal, and lots of people operate that way. But there's a message here to just be, you know, you got to do your own, like, you know, your side of the work, so that you're attracting like the balanced partner, the balanced match, and coming into union with the right person. You will fail over and over and over again until you get it right, like for yourself. Like, you have to come with what it is you want, in a sense. Like, I'm not saying you have to mirror each other and be like, you know, just a different version of each other. That's not it. It's just coming with your putting your own best foot forward, and knowing kind of where you are and where you stand. And it's just a sense, there's just a sense here of maturity and not rushing. And this card, we have a black wolf and a white wolf, and they're just sort of howling up. And it's like releasing these sorts of desires and giving them up to spirit. To, you know, if you turn them over to spirit, you will find you may be assisted. You know, if you let your guides and your team know that, you know, they already know that this is important to you. But if you just communicate with them, communicate that you know, you really want to be ready, and you're working on it, and you're feeling more and more ready all the time, and you hope that, you know, the right person is also out there on the same trajectory, and that you know, you're requesting, you know, could you guide us toward each other? That's okay. You can ask for these things and talk about these things with spirit and with your guides. And if you don't know, you don't have to know them by name. I've never found a name for guidance. It's just, you know, this is above names. We don't have to call everything something. Not, you know, no language on earth, no human language is going to encompass every idea and every possibility for beings and intelligence and love. So, yeah, I'm just getting here that, you know, you're just you're having a big awakening, and this important partnership that helps you grow is just a matter of, you know, you holding up your side of things and really aiming for the alchemy of a good balanced partnership. You don't want to just take another ride with the wrong one, you know? So then I used the Witch's Tarot down here because I wanted to get into more specifically into your manifestations and intentions and, you know, your own personal power. And with the Nine of Cups speaking about, you know, luxury and wishes coming true and just comfort and bliss. And this is like, this is the happy, you know, like harmony, and like things are going really well and abundant, and just like it's just a really awesome space to be in. Nine of Cups energy is one of the best energies you can find yourself in. And you know, none of these stay. Like, we're all changing, and they're gonna change, but you know, you apparently right within reach, if not now, can grasp an immense amount of satisfaction and you're going to be able to tap into your own source and meaning and your own purpose really easily. And the fact that it's under judgment here, you know, I just have a good feeling about your ability to kind of attract, you know, the things that make you content and make you satisfied and make you feel powerful, just in congruence with this judgment card. Like, this revelation for you, this awakening for you is going to have really positive and special effects of, you know, like I said, like harmony and bliss, and just this is actually a vacation card, you know, like it's just a good feeling, you know what I mean? Like, it's your maybe coming out of a dark night, even potentially. I wouldn't say necessarily the darkest night. It's not the feeling that I'm getting, but maybe just coming out of a more down kind of time. And then this Devil card. Well, you know, like, how do we take our devils? What do we do with the devils? It's a funny one because there are a lot of different interpretations, and I may be someone who it's rarely negative for me, and I don't know if that's because I'm just, you know, a heathen or what, but this devil is telling me about, you know, with regard to your personal power and your manifestations. This is what I'm getting. Don't obsess and get to the, okay, don't like ask for everything constantly for your ego, you know, like don't try to use your spiritual connectedness for superficial gain or for in an obsessive way. Like, don't you want to be careful not to take advantage of it or take for granted the power that you have, you know. Like, if you saw, for example, if you saw Nightmare Alley, either the one from, I believe, the 30s, or I think it was the 30s, or the most recent one by Guillermo del Toro, the mentalist in the movie, you know, he rises to the top, but then he falls because his ethics are compromised, you know. So I think there is a message, and it goes along the devil theme of your ethics, you know, you want to watch that they're not compromised. But, you know, when I said that I don't always see this as a negative thing, I do believe there's a message in there about, you know, watching what you try to do with your newfound, you know, good feelings and vibes. You can plant them, you can plant this good energy and grow abundant pentacles from it, you know, and more cups and lots of wands and swords. But the devil, you know, definitely speaking about like using it for good, you know, for the good, for your what do you call it, your greatest good. However, other people's greatest good too. Like, you can't be entirely selfish about it, and be careful of being obsessive about it. But the part about the devil that I don't find to be so negative is sexual. I feel personally that you can explore sex magic for manifestation. You can Google that if you don't already know. I don't think I'm in a position to sort of tell you like an authority like how it works, but you know, you can use some very primal physical and sensation energies to help you manifest. And I just see that here as something you're capable of doing. It's a wild magic area, and sex magic, and it's a, you know, there's nothing to be ashamed of. We're animals, okay? So, you know, this is just kind of a general spiritual read, kind of looking at like, you know, what's going on with you and stuff like that. But I did want to just kind of take another from the Serpentfire deck and just do a quick little line of questions around what's happening now, what's happening next, and the outlook, the outcome. So for group 1, this rhodonite, let's get another message about where they may be now, what is emerging, and what is the outcome. Now, King of Wands. So you may be on this upswing, you know, from this revelation, and this, you may be already beginning to feel this 9 of Cups. King of Wands speaking about just being very powerful, really, and like you know, the vision here, and here. Yeah, you, on this card, do you see the snake rising up through here? I associate that with like, it's looking to me like Kundalini energy, and you've got these, I believe those are saguaro cacti reaching up, and this duality. It looks like a moon and Mars, maybe. I could be wrong. I don't know what those planets are, but, or satellites. But the point is, I get the feeling that now your power is rising. Your power is rising and reaching, and that's certainly King of Wands energy. King of Wands being fire. This rhodonite, very much fire and earth. That's what we're talking about here when you are in alignment, and even with sex magic and sex energy, you know, we're talking about the root to the crown, just energy shooting up and going through you and out of you, and being able to call in. It's opening a channel for you to call in what it is that you need. So that's now energy, should be. maybe you're feeling it now or on the precipice of it. And what's emerging for 1, 7 of Pentacles. So this is a hunger to me. Like this is, you know, the payoff for what you've invested, you know, beginning to feel that. It's, you know, it's wanting more, and it's growth. And there's a bit of a free fall energy here with this image as well. So it's almost like you're getting your returns on what you've invested. You're beginning to see, the possibilities. You're beginning to see, what do you call it? I don't know, finance. It doesn't have to be finance, but I'm just speaking in terms of investment yielding gain. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't understand money, but like, so 7 of 7 of Pentacles is speaking here about the energy emerging of you basically wanting more and sort of relaxing a bit into the path that you have forged, and you know, kind of trusting that it will work out. And also there's a little bit about being in a, being in a contemplative state, you know, like contemplating your next move, but feeling very relaxed about it. That Saturn, and that gives me the feeling of, you know, coming back around again energy, like just this really, like, you get what you give. There's that reciprocity idea again that I spoke of earlier with this Lovers, when I was talking about the 6 of Pentacles, which is just before the 7. And I definitely get a sense of patience for things to, seeds you've planted to blossom, beginning to see them. You will be beginning to see that growth and that profit, and whatever area that's in. So for number 1's energy, what hey, sorry, I don't know if you could hear my dog whining at the back door. I had to go let her in. But now I'm asking just for an outlook card for people in group 1, rhodonite. What kind of outlook do we have based on all this current productive and inspired, awakened and flowing energy of this person? The 6 of Wands. Well, that's fantastic for you. 6 of Wands is success, recognition, and respect, you know? Like, this is owning it and being seen and victorious, and probably receiving some really valuable feedback and praise, like being sort of being elevated like you want to be. It's pretty spectacular. Riding a horse naked, that's what you're gonna do now. Sounds kind of all right. Over the devil card and everything, I don't know. Yeah, so it's just a really good outlook for you. Like, 6 of Wands is fantastic energy. It's like the trophy, you know, like you are the trophy. Like you're basking in your golden, you know, glory, sort of. So this is all looking really good. It just feels like, you know, along the way. You've got some things to remember, and you can practice easing up a little bit, and on, you know, on possibilities, and making room for things to be different from how you have held them to be. And I guess don't forget, you know, this one here with this red root card, just speaking about your truth. Like, don't forget that anything that you want to share with the rest of us, you know, is valid, and it's as important as anyone else's input, you know. All right, so I hope that was okay for you, and I'm gonna go on to the next one now. Hey, to the second group with the lapis lazuli. This one automatically makes me feel an energy. I didn't do this for the first one. Not that I didn't feel it. This one I just got like a I think I just got a specific guide that I haven't met before. Maybe it's one of yours. Sort of a Amazonian woman. Oh, thank you for being here. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna ask the questions and lay out the cards. I'll speed that up, and we'll be back in 1 sec to talk to you about the reading. I can't remember if I explained what I'm doing in the intro anymore, but I will see you in a sec. Okay, so this one's some big stuff. From Cosmic Laws Oracle, you've got choice and law of cycles and rhythms. This is talking a lot about the choices we make and the way that we get in where we fit in the natural order of things, and life and everything in it. Everything is always sort of, if you picture, you know, the bottom of the sea or a coral reef or something, where you've got these like sort of swaying anemone and sea vegetation and such. Like, I picture it just flowing there, and all being like a habitat that works together, and, you know, everybody just kind of does their own little dance, but all together it's this big beautiful dance. And I think this is just really talking about being able to go with the flow and fit into, you know, I'm never going to be a proponent of like fitting into boxes or anything like that, but it really just has to do with doing your own dance. And, you know, when you're on a dance floor and you're dancing and other people are dancing, there's a spatial awareness. And then if you zoom out and look at a lot of people dancing together, it's a beautiful thing. And people aren't necessarily, usually at least, you know, accidentally hitting each other and tripping over each other. And it's actually like this beautiful sort of synchronized thing. And that's the message here, is that, you know, you do your dance, you know, remain aware of like those around you, and like let them do their dance, and like just like trust in the natural rhythm of life, and the fact that everything is cyclical, and you know, we will get tired, and we will be over things, and we will begin new things and such. Choice, speaking about the illusion of control. Like, we do make choices, but to an extent, these are reactions, and you know, to other things, and then there will be subsequent reactions from the outside and such, and it just is a give and a take, and it goes back and forth, and it's just this dance, and it's this whole piece here is just speaking with regard to, you know, me wanting to know about the abundance in reach for you. I think a key to tapping into everything that can be yours is simply it's to me a message about being true to who you are, and and staying in your sort of like in your zone happily. Like, I don't mean you can't leave your zone, I just mean like be proud of it, and like understand that it is yours, and it fits in with everything else just as anyone else's does. I hope that makes some sense. And then, you know, for these Untamed Elemental cards, which I, you know, I wanted to ask about transitional energy for you. Both of these are water. It's the whale and the manta ray. Can you see these well? They're really cool. Okay. So the whale has a lot to do with communication and clarity. And it's kind of known. I always, when I think of whales, I often think of whale song. I think of the beautiful sounds they make, and over the distance that they can communicate with each other, like over great distances, you know, just with these sonic abilities. And some would say intuitive. And when you hear someone say the heart of a whale, I think that's a saying. I could be wrong, but like it has to do with like compassion, and you know, whales operate in community and pods and such. So for as far as like moving through transitions, and this fits so well with this natural rhythm up here. It's really just, you know, it feels like there's a need for you to acknowledge your place in the bigger picture, that you have a place, that you are a part of a bigger picture and a bigger collective energy. Like, I guess that's two different messages for this one card that I'm getting, that have to do with one could be that maybe your self-esteem isn't allowing you to recognize that you're just as important as anyone else, and you're a valuable piece in the big whole, in the big puzzle. Or there can also be a feeling of gosh, I think I lost it. Sorry about that. Disharmony, you know, like if you're feeling any kind of disharmony in acknowledging your truth, like if your particular ideas or passion, inspiration, truth, if you will, are not feeling received, like if you're not feeling like respected or needed or something like that, I think there's a message for you to understand that you are by someone somewhere, because none of this goes on without all of us, and the way that it does. I know that was a loaded statement, but like the way everything is right this second is because of every one of us that is here right this second. And like, you know, the more we exert our love and intention into the things we do, and the the energy around us, the more you can begin to stand in your own sort of sense of self and sense of being here. It's a good way to feel here. I feel like I may have lost people on that, like not understanding what I'm saying, but I guess if you do, then that's good. I have a way of not being able to get the right words to describe what it is I'm trying to say, and I'm pretty sorry about that, but let me move on. Manta ray, perfectly situated under the natural rhythms, is very much about the rhythm of life, and it's about letting the negative fall away and not being too serious and being sort of like, you know, playful and optimistic, kind of like. It's just this energy of if you watch manta rays in the water, like documentary style or whatever, they're so graceful and so I mean, aren't most things in the water really, but there's this grace with the manta ray. Like there's this feeling of, they're so odd. They're such an odd creature, and they've got this long like whip of a tail, and it could kill you obviously, but like they're also just not really looking for trouble. They've got a way of cutting through the water in confidence, I would say. I would say that is for you. There's a message about, even the book says so. This particular book, I remember, it's about unconditional self-respect, which we'll just say unconditional love. This is standing in that being and feeling that, you know, whereas this one, I was saying, I got the sense there could be feeling like you're not as important as everybody else, or like for some reason a little diminished, and needing to recognize that you are a part of the whole. Whereas this one beside it is telling me that is what's happening. You know, that you are learning to embrace the fact that you are this like creature of grace, and like you don't have to get bogged down by, you know, some of these how would you call them? I almost said existential, but that's totally different from what I mean. Like, I mean, you can get bogged down in existential questions, but this has to do more with community and communication, and I guess situated beside each other, and especially beneath these, I get the feeling that, you know, when it comes to illusion, you are open for clarity and to hone your communication. And when it comes to the natural rhythms and the natural cycles of life, that you are coming into being able to maneuver through this thing called life with absolute grace and this is really optimistic, really just like self-assuredness, and not in a cocky way, just in a like in a confident sort of I want to say productive, but I don't mean productive. Like, it's funny, these words keep coming to me and I think they're important, but it's not. It is productive, but that's not the reason. You know what I mean? Like, the reason is simply because, like, there's just this sense here of accepting the beauty of who you are in the grand scheme, and the fact that, you know, your experience is 100% unique and also ever evolving. That said, let's get into this one, the evening primrose. This is very much, you know, the question is around healing. For this particular card, I wanted to get a message about healing. This is actually one of the more intense healing herbs. So evening primrose is absolutely for soothing and for trauma and neutralizing, basically, like kind of the way, say, you know, some of these darker stones would do, you know, like we've got this smoky quartz and this black tourmaline. When you have these darker pieces, this kyanite, when you have these darker stones, they absorb negative energy, and that's really essentially one of the functions of this evening primrose message is that you may be especially needing to heal some trauma, and it's probably quite possibly pretty distant in your life. It could be childhood, it could even be ancestral, it could be both. But there's definitely something that makes you feel unworthy. And that comes back to here. What I was talking about with like feeling like you're, you know, you don't belong or whatever, like this whale trying to just recognize you are a piece of this bigger natural dance. You know, there's a sense I get something has happened in your experience, whether it's spiritual or actual in this life. I do feel like a lot of it is in this life. I do get the feeling there is childhood stuff here, like inner child stuff. But yeah, like there's this feeling that it's going to be important for you on your road to the light and the ascension within, and all the good things about life, and all the more, you know, peaceful, harmonious sort of vibes. I mean, we can talk about feeling good and talk about getting what we want, but that's not all life is. And we have to be able to embrace the shadow and embrace the darkness and embrace the less pleasant feelings. So I think that it's important that I just draw that distinction, that it is, you know, ultimately to be able to just find peace is actually even, you know, even more realistic than, say, finding happiness. Because, like, does happiness last? Does peace last? Well, inner peace can support you when happiness is not readily available, you know? Anyway, there's just this feeling of needing to soothe wounds that you have suffered, that have affected your self-esteem, and that have affected the way you see yourself. You know, this one was this manta ray. We're talking about, what did I say? Unconditional self-respect, right? That's what you are moving into, you know. This is necessary for that. Like there's a need to cleanse and doctor and give tender, loving attention to any of the wounds, all of the wounds which make you feel less than, that make you feel like you're not a part of it somehow. I get the sense that sometimes you feel very just disconnected. That's just everything that's kind of showing up here. Like sometimes you don't, maybe sometimes you'd feel like you're not a part of the big thing, but sometimes I get that for some, it's actually you just don't want to be. It's a little bit depressive, honestly. But I'm not saying you're depressed. That's just, it comes and goes, right? It's an energy, and there's just, for sure, with these 5 cards over here, there's a feeling of, you know, personal empowerment on the line in the way you see yourself and the way you see everything around you. And you need to probably try to bring that into balance, because you can't compare yourself to everyone else, and your experience, the way it fits into the experiences of others is you know, it's not always going to look the same, and it's not always going to result in the same outcomes and stuff. So like it's just important that you take care of yourself. And yeah, I'm just getting hit with a real, I just got like a heavy heart for a second, and I just got with this real kind of like breathless sadness. And you know, I did say I didn't think it was depressive, but I think I'm getting nudged to say that there is some depression here, and that may be true for you. There's a real need to love yourself, and I'm just pushed to say love that inner child, and love that wounded person. Whatever, it doesn't even have to be a child. You could have been wounded 2 years ago as an adult, you know, in such a way that has really put your esteem through a beating. Maybe you don't feel you deserve something. Maybe you've done something that has made you feel undeserving, or maybe someone has treated you in a way that has made you feel undeserving. Whatever it is, whatever the case may be, for your specific wounds that your esteem has suffered, that there's a call here for you to recognize you're a part of the bigger thing, and that control is an illusion. And you know, it's people act like they have everything under control, and some people believe they do, but none of us really has ultimate control. Like, we're just a part of a bigger ecology of energies, and things will happen. We will constantly confront uncomfortable stuff. So, and the Manta Ray saying here, you know, grace in the idea of like not taking it all so seriously. It's, you know, it's life, and it's a big beautiful thing, but we're all doing it, and it doesn't have to be super dramatic, right? So let me get into these tarot cards. Up there in the Serpentfire, we've got Ace of Swords and Four of Cups. Ace of Swords, clarity, you know, new ideas, and truth revealed, and basically a new start, like taking an action on an idea. And I think that, you know, this was a message about like your own spiritual development, and I think I believe that these are cycles that, you know, just as this is the cycles of life and the rhythm of life, like I believe that we go through growth, spiritual growth, in cycles, and you can go through it over and over and over, and you're constantly growing, and you never reach the end. You do it as many times as you have years for and experience for. So with this Ace of Swords, I feel there is definitely a new cycle in your spiritual path beginning. Either now it's begun or is about to begin, and it's regarding illumination for you, clarity around your questions, clarity around who you are, and how to move forward from here if you've been a little stuck possibly. The Four of Cups, you know, traditionally it's definitely a little bit of a detached, flat energy. Like sometimes you'll just see someone kind of moping in the image. But this Serpentfire deck kind of takes some liberties with the cards, and I've learned to really take them for what they are. At first I was resentful because I wanted to use the traditional meanings that I'm familiar with, but I've been trying to move through this deck and practice with it, to get to know some of these other interpretations and that fit these other images so well. This particular Four of Cups is actually about being tender with yourself and serenity, and it's about thriving in nature, which is just, I mean, nature will prevail. Water will find its way. Plants, sun, oxygen, air, you know, like nature's this miracle, right? And like there's just this sort of natural flow toward growth, and this natural rising toward nutrients and health. Like that's just sort of what nature, how it keeps going. Like there's a persistence and a strength and a resilience even. And I think for you here, and with regard to the question about your spiritual growth and your spiritual path and development, it really just goes back to this, because it's talking about being tender with yourself. There's a real sense of serenity, like I said, with this card, but like there's a tenderness that is necessary. And I find it here with this whale and this manta ray, and this evening primrose as a healing agent. You know, like there's this real need for you now to take care of yourself. And I know that self-care is a catch word right now, but it's beyond that. It's actually like it's not just like take care of yourself and fill your own cup and you know, feel better so you can do better. This is actually is deeper and more spiritual, in that you're needing to be tender with yourself through healing. During healing, there's a special call for you to love yourself enough to recognize the work that needs to be done, and recognize where trauma has come from for you, if that applies. But again, with the Ace of Swords, that clarity, that illumination, and it's certainly basically, this feels like a promise to me that it's being revealed to you that this is important, and you are beginning to see and respect yourself, like as something of a force as well, you know, in this world. So when I asked about personal power and manifestation power and you know, this sort of thing, you have Coven, which is exclusive to the Witches Tarot deck that I have, and it's very much about friendship and support and that collaborative energy, you know, like Coven. The work as far as like manifesting, like it's to me speaking of this interplay that we talked about with, like, you know, the group of whales and the cycle of life, where I was talking about all the different living things at the coral reef, you know, like swaying in the water together. Like I sense here with the Coven card showing up that there is still, just in your own power and manifestation abilities, there's a message for you around the importance of realization of yourself, like that you're here and that you're a part of something bigger. And you know, you can rely on, if you have community, it seems you could rely on that, but perhaps seeking it out is the message here. I get more of that. I just got chills. Yeah, so like I think if you can branch out to meet more people who have similar interests and vibes as you may feel supported and nourished in a way that can help you heal and grow and manifest more and claim your power more, you know. And with the Hermit, this is a great card. I love this crow. I hope that showed up. I didn't look. The Hermit, you know, searching in your soul. And this is actually spending time alone. But I like it beside the Coven, because this is literally like being with people and being alone. And I think there's a necessary balance. I think that, you know, I personally believe that, you know, it should be almost, well, it should be balanced. You should be spending, you know, you can't do everything alone, and you can't do everything with everyone else. Like, I think that this is a really important message about your manifestations and your power, your personal power, is that you do, you can utilize the support of others, and you know, give and receive in that on that hand, you know, like in that way. But then, like with the Hermit, is there's just this other real importance for you to go within and do have those times of solitude, like do have those moments of rest and meditation, you know, where you look within for answers, because the answers are always within. But I guess I get the feeling for you, there's a lot of outside help available for you to access, to realize your power and your abilities, and your to learn how to manifest what it is you want in your life. I do think you need some support. I think this evening primrose speaks of support. I think what we spoke about with the whale and the natural cycles is all about outside support. And I think this Hermit is saying that, you know, there still needs to be the inner work, and I think that's what this Four of Cups is about. And for those to show up together makes perfect sense to me, or close like this, because I do think as you become more confident in and more healed within in yourself, like more will be available for you to understand from the inside. So there's the outside that's going to give you tips and tricks and help you see, and then ultimately you're going to be able to get deeper inside, where that's where the honey really is. Like, that's where you go in there, and your personal truth is a whole nother level. So, you know, you've got community to help you, but you've got your inner higher self, essentially, and your intuition, and your just wisdom, and your ancestral knowledge, and like all of these are here to, you know, tell you things you've been wanting to know, and things you never dreamed even. I feel I did sense this guide early on, if you remember, and I feel I've felt her with me the entire time, and I feel her here in this Hermit card. So I get the sense that for maybe this whole group, or maybe some of you, maybe just one of you, I don't know, there is this Amazonian, I say Amazonian because I don't know tribes well enough to break it down any farther than that, but I'm seeing a sort of Amazonian woman as a guide, and I believe she is waiting for you, waiting in you, guiding you, as somebody's guide is here. You know, do with that what you will, based on your own personal opinions, beliefs, etc. That's just there, and I just wanted to say. So for the last part of this, what I did for the first reading is a little 3-card spread with the Serpentfire deck, just kind of like now, next, outcome, you know, current outlook. So of you, you know, something that's going on with you, but not just you, others in this collective. All right. Let's group 2, lapis lazuli. Show me the energy now. What's now? What's current? Queen of Cups. You're so loving. You're so loving and compassionate. It feels like you're giving this to others. You have a lot of love to give, and I think that you need to begin to give it to yourself a little more and realize you're deserving of it. And if you're getting it from places and you're trying to deny it because you don't feel you're deserving of it, you need to understand that you are. And that's what a lot of this other stuff that we were talking about is about. If I get the feeling that right now you're full of love, you have love to give, you don't give enough of that back to yourself, it's unconditional. And I also get the sense that you don't feel deserving of love, and or love from the outside may be affecting you in a funny way. Maybe someone has been expressing love to you, whether it's romantic or friend or familial. Like someone is trying to love you and care for you, and maybe you find that difficult to accept because you have wounds that make you feel undeserving. Maybe you've done something that's made you feel undeserving. Either way, I definitely feel a lot of power in you, inside you right now, that is untapped. It's right there for you. It's all that love that you have for others is right there for you. And then what is emerging for you? What is emerging for lapis lazuli? Number 2, what is emerging? Ace of Wands. Yeah, getting on the stick, getting some energy. Ace of Wands is a wonderful forward movement, a beginning that will take off like a rocket, you know? Like, it's very creative, it's very inspired. Like, what's coming in for you is a real burst of energy, a real sort of maybe passionate, but probably creative vibe, you know, something coming in for you to utilize. Like, I just see this as a vehicle. I'm seeing a vehicle. I know I think I mentioned a rocket, but it feels like that. It feels like a vehicle that will propel you. And that could be metaphorical. It may not, I don't believe there's necessarily an actual like vehicle coming to take you somewhere. I just mean like the energy of movement is coming, the energy of expansion, the energy of seeing how to grow is coming. And then what is the current outlook for our very sweet lapis lazuli people? You have a very sweet energy. I think you really just downplay how wonderful you are, and you know, modesty's fine, I get it, but like, I think you sadly don't really own or accept how beautiful you are right now, for whatever reason. But the outlook for you, Judgment. That's beautiful. That showed up in the first, up here for the first reading. Judgment. This Judgment card is about revelation, and it is about clarity, which was what right here with the Ace of Swords is about. This choice card is about clarity because it's about, like, you know, conquering or dismissing illusion, and you know, I'd like to pull these into view a little. Look at all that pink and red. Super passionate, creative energy there for you. Yeah, this is sight. This Judgment is it's like a new sight. You understand? Like, it's a vision that you didn't necessarily have ever before. Seeing yourself, I believe, is what is going to happen for you. Seeing yourself exactly in the ways that I've been describing, that you have every right to and should and need to feel more powerful and more capable. And it seems that is coming in for you. You're going to be able to understand things, you know, it's just, you're going to feel just a little wiser. There's this brain here, like this head is opening up and there's this glistening brain, and it's just like a real electrical surge, you know, of just like, but not electrical, like spiritual electricity, like a real surge of this feeling of knowing, you know. And it's when you compare yourself against others, it'll finally, like, you'll finally like have this, your figure will be as tall as the others, like everybody. You know, if you're looking at the stuff flowing in the corals that I was describing, I work visually, so I'm just trying to tell you, like, you see all those colors and you see them dancing together, and like I just feel like you're definitely going to have the vision. You're gonna have the decision-making ability that comes with the knowledge and experience and recognition of who you are, what you have to give, and that you are valuable, you know? So that is what I have for you, and I hope it was helpful. I know sometimes I do these more spiritual readings and they get a little like, they wind around a bit, but hopefully it's not as bad as I think it is, and you can actually take something from that. Anyway, see you next time. Hello there to the third group with this lovely mookaite palm stone. All right. Yeah, I can't remember if I said it in the intro, but I'm just going to go through these decks and shuffle, lay out your cards, and I'll speed that up, and then we will get into the reading shortly. See you in a sec. Oops. Hey. This one is big energy. For starters, up here in Cosmic Law, you have heart and gratitude. And sometimes I get cards that I feel like crazy trying to talk about or explain the message, because it's just like heart and gratitude. And being familiar with this deck, I understand how sort of wild it is that these two came out together, and not some of, there's a lot of interesting cards in this deck, and these two just sort of, the way they feel together for me, first of all, red and green being complementary colors to each other, but I mean really just the heart and gratitude. There's just such a big feeling of well, the question around these cards was about the abundance within reach for you. So I just feel like there's an enormous amount of care and good heart energy, like good, you know, warm, compassionate, deserving, graceful, nourishing energy. Like I just, it's this beautiful, I'm getting the sense of this beautiful, overflowing, good feeling, you know, just this, it's something that is within reach for you is it's kind of similar to the 9 and 10 of Cups. It's something very satisfying and special. Where's that smoke coming from? Hold on. I'm having a bit of nervousness. Okay, that was crazy. Huh. Oh, okay, I got it. This candle went out. I was concerned about where that smoke was coming from. But the candle went out. Okay. Thank goodness. I don't need any fires. But I do want more mugwort. Okay. Sorry about that. It happens, right? Trying to burn the stump for the last of it. I can't get... This is my favorite bundle, and I have some more, but this particular batch must have been special because I can't really get enough of it. Okay. So within reach, abundance within reach for you looks really fantastic. I want to say, looking at this as a whole, and especially with this mookaite being a stone that aids with strength and power and balance and so many more things. It is an earth and fire element, which is, you know, just super substantial and magical as well, and manifested and materialized kind of energy. It's a lot of strength. You have an actual strength card. Sea urchin here is about strength as well. This is about protection and strengthening your connection to divinity, and clearing negative energy and blockages, and just really just sort of like, sea urchin is very much about protection, but beneath that there is this this connected energy. And the question for these cards had to do with like moving through transition, or through the whatever current transitory energy you're in right now. There's a message about protecting yourself, protecting that energy. And I think I know why. There's a lot of power here. There's a lot of potential and ability here. So I could see how, just looking ahead, how sea urchin's a really fantastic message for you, or has a message for you about moving through the space right now, because you will need to protect what you've got, because it is something I can tell you off the bat, and I always get confirmation with these chills. I can tell you that your manifestation abilities and your spiritual connectedness are not nothing. They are kind of something. So it's and you probably know that by now. This is confirmation if you were questioning, I guess. So there's a protection aspect here, and then the rainbow actually speaks about abundance and being able to see you know, the rainbow after the storm. Like, it's been like everything was crazy and the wind was blowing, the rain was pouring, and like then the sun came out and created this rainbow, and it's just this calm and this peace that comes. And there's a message for you about moving through this transition, protecting yourself, like whatever space you're in right now, whatever you're going through, whatever's next, you are coming out of anything that's been difficult. You're coming out, I want to say wiser, but you're coming out with a renewed sense of like manifestation energy, like a renewed creator energy. Does that make sense? Like a renewed creativity, an inspiration to make things happen and to create beauty and to revel in wonder, you know. This is all very like I mean, here we have the protection that I think is worth mentioning, but this rainbow and this heart and this gratitude is just really speaking to me about. This is very different than the other readings, and that, not that those were in any way not good at all. Like this is like, you have, if you chose this group and you're a part of this group, if this feels right to you, you have a real well of love and inspiration available to you, is what I'm seeing. Love in all of its forms right there for you, and inspiration. If you're a creative person, that might be something you love more than people and that fire is also available to you. So it just looks like you're kind of like coming into a really, really good space. And I hate to say productive, because sometimes it's not like having quantity to show for the work, but I want to, like, what is the word that means productive but refers to quality? I don't know, and I can't think of it. Ginkgo, right here. Ginkgo for a question around your healing, and where you are and where you're going. Ginkgo is about memory, and it is the memory holder, the record keeper. There's an element of endurance and lasting through the times with this one. This can have to do with the ancestors. This can have to do with just simply remembering who you are and where you know, what you've been through, where you're from, and where you're going. I feel I have funny feelings about ginkgo. It's just the most awful scent when when those little ginkgo fruits or whatever are falling out of the tree. The leaves are gorgeous. The leaves are beautiful, but the ginkgo fruit itself, or whatever it is a nut, a fruit, I'm not sure. It's very like, ooh, it's one of my least favorite smells. But I also just, you know, it is known for being that memory thing, and I don't know why I just brought that up, the scent thing. I don't know. I guess I just can't think about ginkgo without thinking about that pungent aroma. But yeah, like if you look at this card, see this figure. There's a figure in there. Just, and to me, this is just kind of like a trippy, kind of out there kind of feeling, but it has to do with, I want to say, like, how can I do this without going off on a thing? Like interdimensional reality, like lines crossing all the time in, I know this isn't, okay. There's a, you know, there's a feeling of a parallel life, right? Like sometimes we have questions about, like, you know, it's very sci-fi in a way. Like, am I somewhere else? Like, how it's about synchronicities, and it's about, I don't know, for me, you know, like lining up and being in alignment. But like this card is like a reminder to me as well as for this group. Like, it just really hit me and reminds me of, you know, the duality, I guess, or the multiplicity of our experience. Like, it's perspective, and it's like, no matter how you're looking at something, no matter how you're looking at your journey or your life or an experience that you're having or a situation that you're dealing with, no matter how you're looking at it, there's another way that is actually how it is. And it's basically the denial of what you, how you perceive, because you can only really look from your perspective, and you can bend and try to see from other perspectives, and that's a great thing to do. But this is just a reminder that, you know, there's greater force at play in everything that's going on, and, you know, no one thing is the absolute truth. No one thing. And I guess that's just important. But like there's definitely a message here about who you are, being someone emerging from experiences in a past, and you believing that you're walking on in this one direction, in this one fashion and form. You're this person now, and you're doing this now. But it's just this importance to remember, like, who you were all along the way, who you were when you were a child, who you were, and what the ancestral memory within you is bringing, that you sort of have to work to connect with, you know. And like, how will that change the way you move and the way you see where you are and where you're going. I'll just go into over here. With the Serpentfire deck, I was asking for messages about like this, all of this, the spiritual development and the path you're on. You got the Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles often being about, you know, I always say making it work, like juggling logistics. It can be about ups and downs and balance. However, this deck, Serpentfire, taking the liberties that it does to play with the interpretations a bit, is about transformation. This card is all about change, and I think that's Jupiter. I'm pretty sure that's Jupiter with that spot, and Jupiter's a luck, the biggest giant planet, and it's about luck. And then this is a half snake, half woman going through a transformation, and that's, you know, I think there's a lucky transformation going on in your spiritual development. Basically, it's almost too easy, but that is kind of what I'm getting here. And it feels like in your sort of like where you are now, it feels relatively good. Like, it feels like relatively, you know, when I say relatively, I mean like compared to times that weren't so good. Like, I'm getting this energy as, you know, people in this group's energy as being like not too bad, like really kind of like on point, like in the game, you know, like ready is a good way to describe it. With the Lovers card showing up, it just really speaks to me about the importance of the way you express love, the way you seek it and need it, you know. And here with the heart and the gratitude up here, makes a lot of sense for me that Lovers is here. I think that you have a giant capacity to give and receive, and to make big things happen, and to cause giant ripples, positive ripples, away from yourself into anyone that would touch. And so with the Lovers here, I do feel an emphasis on your personal relationships, your interpersonal relationships. And especially here, I have to say, I wouldn't necessarily, but I do think that a romantic relationship either is at play in your spiritual awakening, or is a major method of how you personally dive into spirit and these matters and go through necessary changes. I think you derive a lot of power and solace at the same time in connections and good connectivity. And I think the two of these together definitely reinforces that. You know, like I just get Wonder Twin power vibes, honestly. The ability to manifest is it within you, magnified by the power that you receive in your relationships, romantic or otherwise, like the support that you receive, like the nourishment of who you are, like the resounding kind of like, well, I said support, but like, yeah, like that, someone who's got your back, or friend. It can be friends, it can be family, it can be lovers, who have your back and really just lift you up. And what is happening in that process is a whole lot of, they likely like love and see you for everything that you are, but there's also some of the people who will come in your life and lift you up actually are very much aware of your power, and they want to be a part of unleashing that. They want to see it. They want to see you glow and reach and become all that you are, because they know, like I'm getting, that it is good for everybody when you're good. It's going to be good for everybody when you're good. Okay. And then down here, I was asking about personal power and manifestations, and you know, just even in your spiritual development, it's written all over that you're a manifester, as far as I'm concerned. And then, you know, we have strength and ritual magic. Ritual magic being an exclusive card to this Witch's Tarot deck. Both of these, though, being majors. So you're, like I said, I got a real strong being here. You are. Like, I get a real force. You're powerful. I feel this is an energy that I have tapped into on numerous occasions throughout my readings, and it's always weird because I'm just sitting here talking to this camera saying, like, you're really powerful. I think you might know it, other people know it, like, but I'm getting it big time. Like, there's definitely you know, both of these are about strength, and you just have like a real force, a real palpable force about you. I'm not sure in which ways that presents. It could be any number of ways. Whatever it is you do, however it is you live, for the most part, people recognize you and they know there's something special about you. So strength, you know, is such an obvious one, and it's definitely just what I've just been talking about right here. Like, as far as like your manifestation and your personal power question, strength is, you know, you got it, and it's just a matter of being fearless. I think sometimes we get bogged down in our minds, and we can talk ourselves out of things we're capable of, but you don't need to do that. You maybe past that even. I kind of get the feeling you've matured past a lot of the hurdles that a lot of other powerful people have to also clear. Ritual magic, again, just another real just confirmation. The ritual magic card is just really about literally manifestation and attraction. what I'm doing right now is, in a sense, ritual magic. In a sense, it's divination sort of, but it's also there's method to it, you know, like I've got these candles and it's about intention, and it's about connecting intentionally. It's about understanding what it is I'm receiving. And that is right here. Like, as far as your manifestation and personal power, you know, your abilities, it's all good. I guess the only message I would have is to keep honing your practice and practices, maybe even take on new ones. Study magic, study anything that calls to you. If you are interested in a group of people on this earth and what their healing practices were, study it. If you are interested in a particular person who has, you know, been inspirational and written books or had talks or whatever, like, go, you know, dive into what they're saying, read every word, and, you know, interpret it for yourself. But like, there's just a real I get a feeling of you being like wide open to honing every craft related to magic that you so desire. Okay, so I mean, that's a lot. I think I may have said it. I hope it wasn't this reading. I think it was the last one, where I just say, like, when I do these spiritual readings, sometimes it's just a whole lot of like stuff coming out, and I don't know how it sounds. It feels, because I feel like I'm hosting, and I feel like I'm just rambling. It feels that way to me, but I really hope you're able to get something from it, because you know, my own art of communicating the thoughts, vibes, feelings, energy that I'm getting could use work. And I haven't been doing readings lately, so there's that. The next thing I want to do is get a little 3-card spread, and this is basically just looking at you now, your emerging energy that is emerging for you, and the outlook for you currently, just kind of in general, is what I'm looking at. I'll do a love reading soon. Tell me about this third group, the mookaite people. How's that energy now? Hermit. Okay. You may have been in a space of soul searching. Look at this card. These collages are really cool. It's like this crystal garden going in, butt naked, just going in. Yeah. I don't know if you've been in a time of rest, but there's definitely either way. Like, I don't get this hermit as a sleepy hermit. Sometimes you'll get like a sleeping bear type hibernation hermit. I don't see you as necessarily separating yourself from everyone else to get this hermit energy, even though this dude's walking naked and alone into this crystal forest to get all the wisdom. I think it's really just metaphorical more than ever for this card for you. I think it's just really, you are currently in a deep, of course you showed up this way, like in a deep, what do you know, just like a self-guided tour within. Like, you really, I feel like you've been in a contemplative energy to a degree, if not heavily. And I think that right now your energy is really fueling up on just wise information, like wisdom from inside, wisdom from outside. I see you just sponging spiritual information and knowledge and skill. Like, that's just kind of what I see. And what is emerging? Emerging from the third group, the mookaite. What is emerging? The devil. I'm tempted to pull out the book on this one because it has such interesting, and I haven't memorized them all. This Serpentfire deck has such interesting interpretations. They're a little different. I am going to look because I want to see if there's anything separate from what okay, no, it's pretty standard, this one. Yeah, it's just about moderation, you know, taking everything in moderation. For the devil energy to be emerging for you, I think you're going to just find yourself, you may be finding yourself soon, if not real soon, in a space of really discerning, like really discerning what is helpful and what is hurtful, or just what is a waste of time, or what is worthwhile kind of thing. Like, I think you have to also be wary of, watch out for, be careful of obsessive energy. That comes up a lot with devil, but I'm getting it here now with this quest that you're on. When I say study, and Hermit back that up, like, but when I'm talking about like listening to a guru or studying a group of people, it can be really easy to get like super obsessed and just really fired up. And I think for you especially, it's easy to get really fired up about something. And I think this devil card for emerging is saying, you know, just moderation. Like, take it in moderation. And also I never am comfortable with the archetype of devil being this like tempter, this bad thing, you know, because I don't know, it just depends on how you look at it. And I just think that the devil isn't always about addiction and control. I think it also has to do with sex and the shadow self and freedom, really. And I think for you, that said, I think there is an emerging energy of like liberation for you, like breaking free from old rules or standards that you may have known to be or felt were holding you back or down. That's what I get more from that. Okay, and then for final card, let's look at what's the general outlook for mookaite, the third group. Four of Cups. This showed up in another reading as well. Yeah, Four of Cups traditionally it can be kind of like a detached and different sort of like vibe, but this Serpentfire deck definitely, you know, like I said, some of the cards they really interpret differently, and I don't disagree with them. And I've learned, you know, when I first got the deck, I was kind of annoyed by that because I just wanted to read it, and I was like, well, guides, what do you want to do? Like, you want me to just read these the way they're, you know, traditionally meant, and in practice I've been using them on the side, you know, for myself, like just going through some different readings for a while, and I'm realizing how much I really appreciate this other interpretations, although I haven't memorized every one of them. But the Four of Cups is about basically how nature survives, and you know, wildflowers can't be stopped, you know, like it's just a matter of like being tender and recognizing that you're like this organism and this life force and this like this there's a sense of acceptance and serenity with this Four of Cups card. And I think that what is on the outlook for you is just basically like a place of peace and a place of what do you, how would you call it, like I almost said like boss energy, but that's not what it is. Like this one is so much more non-confrontational. It's not bragging. It's modest. It's humble, but it's absolutely beautiful, and it's serene and tranquil, and it's thriving. Like there's just more growth to come. It's, you know, like I said, it's different from the Four of Cups, and I'm not getting the Four of Cups for the traditional Four of Cups for you in your outcome, because I feel the opposite of what Four of Cups usually means. I feel you being absolutely inspired. I feel you being satisfied. I feel you being invested. And those are the opposites of what the Four of Cups typically mean. So, you know, cards can speak to us in different ways. So that's what I have for you. And I am going to pack it up. And hopefully you got something from this. I know I take a chance with these types of readings. I don't know how it is to listen to, but it feels a little funny speaking, but yet I feel compelled to do it, so who knows. Anyway, I hope you got something from that, and I am available to look farther into your spiritual questions for personal readings, of course. And I will get on to some love stuff, since everybody on YouTube loves that. Not that everybody comes here. All right. I will see you again soon.